Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. Is going to be the round 16 review. Second major buy in the books, and we scored pretty good, I think. I don't know. It was another weird week. There were plenty of there was a few big scores, and then just plenty of like low to mid scores, and we got screwed over a bit with a few of our players, but yeah, we cracked 1,042, which is pretty solid for the top 13, which sees us move up another 254 rankings into 713, which is, again, can't complain. And the funny thing about it is I actually feel like I was expecting the major buys to really, boost us, and it has to an extent. We've gone okay, but I think the round after, so round 17 and round 14 a couple of weeks ago, I actually think round 14 we killed it because a lot of people had plenty of players out, and I think this week as well, like we're sitting pretty okay for numbers. Again, can depend on Origin backup, but we don't have too many Origin players, so we're sitting okay for the after effects of the buy as well. But let's get into how the scoring panned out, and like I said, just a lot of mid scores. So let's start out. So Sammy Finu, 34 points. Again, annoyingly, I don't know. I guess Seabold just doesn't want him playing 80 minutes because he starts Ethan Bullimore on the edge for like 20 to 30 minutes. Finu comes on, plays the rest of the game. Bullimore goes into the middle. I mean, honestly, Bullimore would have been a good pickup. I don't know what price he was at, but he would have been. He's actually scoring pretty damn well, Bullimore. Because how many minutes did he play? I think it was only 50. 48 minutes, 50, 48. Bit annoying for sure. He looked like such a good purchase, and he's going to make a bit of coin. Like, compared to a lot of other cheapy front rowers, he's actually going to make some money, and hopefully he can just, because Kelma Tuolangi will be back, I don't know, soon maybe. Ben Trebojevic will be back in a bit, so he should still get a couple more weeks of decent minutes on the edge. He just needs a couple of attacking stats. A couple of tries would be handy, and just get some money, so we can, honestly, I'd be pretty content with if he makes some money, just downgrading him to enough second row / front row forward duel. I actually think that would be, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. Now, the second one, Nelson Asafa Solomona. I did end up bringing Solomona in. He was the guy I was talking about. Now, Pele, the funny thing about it, right? So, Pele obviously got a bench spot, and that was actually the reasoning that I wanted to trade him out, because he gets no minutes. Like, he could jag an attacking stat. He could get a try, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll get a try at some point this year if he keeps getting some minutes off the bench. But he's honestly just an AE nightmare. He's not going to make any cash. So the fact he was on the bench this game, I thought, you know what, we'll pull the trigger, get Solomona in. And the other fact was that the late mail was that Tarek Sims drew back to the bench. Eisenhuth was starting. Now, it didn't actually say that Solomona was going to the back row, but I was pretty confident that Solomona would play in the back row and Eisenhuth would go into the middle, which did end up happening. Solomona wasn't... it was a weird game. Like, his base was okay. But I don't think he threw an offload. He had a lot of tackle breaks, and he played 60 minutes, I think. He played 60 minutes, unfortunately didn't play the full... Like, I was expecting maybe 70 minutes. So, 60 minutes on the edge, I'm still pretty happy with. Like, obviously, he could have gone a lot better. No offloads, bunch of tackle breaks. But, yeah, it is what it is. I like the pickup, just because now Solomona is a really good backup front row forward. Like, if Solomona doesn't get injured, or suspended, he's a pretty handy third front row option that we can play every week. Who gets like he's a very safe 50-point scorer if he gets if he's not injured. And he's got that upside. Obviously, he's an attacking weapon, so I still like the pickup. Honestly, I'm still happy with the pickup, and he's going to make good cash. Like, his break-even's really low this week, and yeah, so I don't hate it. We didn't have to make the trade, but it's one of those ones. I played for the upside, didn't quite pan out, but I still like having him there as a backup front row option now, instead of, Finu, like I said, hasn't really kicked on, and Pele just, 20 points. I don't know how many points he scored on the weekend. He played, I don't know. I'll have a look after this, but I'm curious. The back row now, Hopgood, we brought in. Absolutely, it was a given. I'm pretty sure. Did he play the full 80? He scored a try, just a barnstorming solo effort. He played 68 minutes, so didn't quite the full 80, but just, incredible. And I knew he was going to score well that week. He'll score well this week, but going forward, with all their forwards coming back, he'll probably end up being more of that 50 to 60 point guy, which is still good. And I don't know. I don't know. Do you trade him out again? I don't know. It seems such a waste to trade him, like have him from the start, trade him out, trade him back in, and then trade him out again. But I don't know. After the Eels have their buys, or after they cover the buys nicely, there probably are some decent options, and Hopgood should be a really good price. So, maybe could swing him off to Fafita. Not opposed to it. Johnny Bateman, 57. Pretty much all in base stats. I was looking at his stats, and I was actually surprised that he ran for like 100 meters, because it felt like every time he touched the ball, he just passed it. I don't know. I'd actually prefer him playing on the edge, I think. Like, he's making a shitload of tackles. Like, he's making so many tackles, which is great. And his base is incredible in the middle. He's playing the full 80, but I think I'd rather him on the edge, just because his base is still really good on the edge. He just runs the footy more on the edge. So I think I'd rather Bateman on the edge, but he's still doing a great job. He's been probably, he's been one of our best pickups this year, honestly. Fantastic a few weeks ago, getting that big ton, and he's done a great job ever since. Bryce Cartwright, 54 points. This one really fucking hurts. Oh man, this one. I was already pretty salty before this game, and I'll get into that with a game earlier. But Cartwright was looking really, really good. He fucking only played 59 minutes. Oh, Arthur, you piece of shit. Oh, Andrew Davey on the other side playing the full 80. And I get it, like, Cartwright's played 3 80-minute games in a row. Look at this. Dude, he's been fucking killing it. Still 54 points in 59 minutes. He's been the best pickup we've done this year. He's been incredible for us. So I get him giving him a bit of a spell. Matt Dury coming on for the last 20 minutes, but man, I was like, are you serious? Why does it have to be in the bye week, dude? Do it another week. It really killed me inside, because he was on track to get like a high 60 point game, but man, oh man, fucking Davey playing the full 80 minutes just does my head in, bro. But it is what it is. Helam Lukey with 25 points. And Joshy Schuster, 45 points. Honestly, I was surprised he got that many points. I'll take the 45, though. Helam Lukey. How much cash did he drop? 27k. That's fine. Honestly, it's fine. Lukey, he's honestly done his job. He's had a couple of stinkers, but he's done a good job for me. Like, the first week I got him, he got 121. Then he shit the bed, but then 87 in the major buy, which is beautiful. Did I play him in 14? I think I did. And then 25 in 49 minutes. He fucking downgraded a bunch. He was on like 30 odd. I don't know what the hell they took the points off him for, but I got a bit dudded there, but yeah. I'll talk about Lukey in a second, how tilted I was when we get to another player, but oh my god, I don't think the Cowboys-Panthers game, I don't think I've been as tilted watching a game in regards to Supercoach in a long time, like that one was. But yeah, Schuster 45, Nico Hines 129 points. I actually thought he might update a little bit more than that. I don't know what he finished on, but he didn't update too much compared to what he usually does. Joey Manu with a big 117. Now this was the big decision, right? So I had Manu 117, and the talk loop or not loop, and you know, I actually late or like just before the game, I ended up doing the loop. I was like, you know what, take the free 117 point loop. But then I fucking backed out again, and I just thought, yeah, no, you know what? My inkling from like basically the get-go was keep the captaincy on Hines unless we'll get to Gutherson in a second. But if I had vice captain on Gutherson getting 130 odd, I probably would have taken the loop then. Which I know it seems strange, like not taking the loop 117, but taking it on 130 odd, but I don't know, I just felt so confident that Hines would get 100 to 120 points, which he did, and I just thought there was a potential there to go like 150 plus, like a big score. And he was like, he could have, a lot of the tries just came like straight through the middle off the dummy half, so it could have been a lot more for Hines, but 129, we rode it out, and at the end of the day, we got a few more points for not looping, which is always lovely. The center wing. So, Mulatalo will take the 60 points. Thankfully, he scored a try. Ruben Garrick, 26. I mean, I'm sure people will carry on and be like, oh my god, Garrick back to the centers again. He can't score. But he was never going to score this game. Without Tom Drabojevic and Cherry Evans, he was never going to score well in this one. So 26. He actually so Lukey did end up being my lowest scorer, so he wouldn't have been in the top 13 anyway. Sonny Taruva, 64 points. My man got 64 points in base, an incredible amount of tackle bus, and I'll talk about him and Lukey in a second. And then Billy Smith with a whopping 38 points. I mean, I'll take it. I think Billy Smith's time in the sun is almost upon us, but I don't know. We got some decisions to make in the coming weeks, and I think Billy Smith definitely isn't a keeper. He definitely is a guy to go, but at the moment, it's not, you know, he's 360k. His average is 50. So, and he scored 38. Like, his break-even is not going to be super high. He could still, like, surely there's some... Who do the Roosters have this week? They got the Raiders. Who the fuck knows? I mean, the Roosters look so shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like surely there's some points coming, but is there? Is there points coming for Billy Smith? I don't know, dude. And then Dream Buller, 43, and Clinton Gutherson, 132. Buller is an interesting one as well, actually. I wasn't even really looking at trading Buller, but he's a tick over 700. We'll have a gander, but let's talk about Taruva and Lukey here. This Panthers Cowboys game, I was so tilted watching this game, right? So Taruva copped a head knock. You know, it is what it is. Copped a bit of a fucking knee from Valame. That was annoying, right? I wasn't like fucking going off, but it was annoying for sure. Like, one of my players getting a head knock, it's always annoying. And then, preceding that, you had fucking Tyrone Peachy with just an open Taruva on the wing, just not pass it and go back on the inside. That was that was bubbling away at the surface, and then Taruva got the head knock, and then a couple of minutes later, they got a scrum play where they just do the simplest left side play, and Isaac Tungo, who ended up going to the wing for Taruva, just gets the easiest try of his life, which would have been Taruva. So that's 30 points down the gurgler. So that was starting to tilt me a little bit because the fucking Taruba, they just don't pass it to him, and then as soon as he's off, they just got the easiest try in the corner for him. And then Hillam Lukey, now he finished on 25 points. At this point, before the updates, he was on like 30 odd points. I don't know how he downgraded so much, but he was on like 30 odd points. His base stats were looking pretty okay, and then he fucking copped a straight elbow off the kickoff. And he went off, and again, I was starting to get pretty upset because I just knew it was, when he went off, like 49 minutes, I knew at that point, like obviously it's come out now, he's copped a bit of a, I don't know what the injury is, but he might be missing a few weeks with, I think it's a jaw or cheekbone, I can't remember exactly, but, I was thinking, even if it wasn't an injury, I felt like Peyton, he probably wasn't going to put him back on anyway. I was mad. And then a couple of minutes after that, fucking the young kid, the young guy who replaced him on the edge, scored a fucking easy barge over try from Jake Granville. I was like, that's where Lukey was. Now again, I mean, obviously if Lukey was there, maybe he wasn't in the position he might not have scored, but that game, having two players in the one game, both of them on each team too, the only two players that got head knocks were both the players I had in Supercoach, dude. Oh, it can be so tilting, but thankfully the rest of the weekend wasn't too bad. We recovered okay, and I mean, like I said, Taruva scored fucking 64 points in he probably played 65 minutes, I guess. Just yeah, very good, and he could have got a try. But yeah, that is what it is. Can't complain too much. But let's have a look at this week. So, like I said, everything's looking pretty okay. The major buy is Tigers, Bulldogs, and Sharkies. Now, Tigers, we got Dream Buller, Johnny Bateman. Sharkies, we got Mulatalo and Nico Hines, and we do not have any doggies, so that's fine. So let's have a quick gander at the team if all things go, I guess, to plan. It's actually going to be a tough week. Like, it's going to be a fucking tough week to decide who I'm actually going to play and who I'm not going to play. Oh, man. So Mulatalo, obviously not. So, it's like, I guess I'm just keeping Holmes at this point. But they take on the Rabbitohs. That's not great. I mean, Latrell Mitchell still won't be playing, which is handy. I mean, no Jai Arrow either. You got to play Holmes if he's there. I mean, Johnston, though, against the Cowboys, you got to play as well if Cody Walker's there. So I guess just take off Smith because they're taking the Ray. Yeah, it's not a great matchup. Joey Manu and Cody Walker obviously will be back. So put the R on. Well, I think he's back, right? Back row. Lukey's got to go. Obviously, Lukey's got to go this week, I think. Cartwright, Hopgood, Bateman. So Bateman, depends what happens. Obviously, we got to find out if Ali Katoa is back this week. I mean, if he's not back this week, then Solomona will probably play on the edge again, which is nice, up against the Seagulls. If he is back, then that would be lovely. We'll just, at the moment, we'll act like Katoa's back, because either way, we're trading Lukey to a better back rower anyway. And then front row forward, bringing on Tarpany. And then the dummy half. So the Rabbits play on the Sunday and the Storm play the Saturday. So they both get a pretty decent turnaround. I would expect them both to back up. I mean, I would guess. I'm not confident, but you would expect them to. So if we look, so Walker obviously a reserve. I mean, Schuster maybe against Melbourne? Nah, probably not. Solomona, we'd probably chuck it on. Grant at the moment. And then, this is where it gets... So, yeah, we're going to have a big decision. So, obviously, Hines, we've got to switch as well. So, this is the thing, right? I was pretty keen to just hold Cleary and Hines, but I forgot that Hines had to bye this week, which meant I'm not going to have a halfback, which I don't think is good. Now, it does mean I can have a free loop, but then I get my lowest scoring player, which could be low. And a halfback is a pretty good position to have. The Warriors take on the Dragons. The Warriors now cover, because if we look here at Tohu Harris, the Warriors cover the rest of these buys great. They're pretty much the Parramatta Eels now. They don't have another buy over. So they had the buy 16, Dragons in 17, Rabbits in 18. It's not the easiest run for the Warriors though. It's the only concern. But yeah, Rabbits 19, they got the Eels. 20, they got the Sharks, then Raiders. A buy in round 22, and then Titans, Tigers. They got a good run home, but you probably want Nathan Cleary back by that point. So I do think that Johnson is the play. How much is he? Hopefully he actually makes me a bit of cash. What is he at? Oh, he's at 705. So yeah, it makes us a decent amount of cash. He scored like 100 last week, so he's going to make more cash this week. Okay, so yeah, Jerome Hughes, he went well again. Like, so the people that brought in Hughes a couple of weeks ago, he's done some pretty good stuff. Now again, I don't know. I just wasn't that keen on Hughes. 87 though, you can't be disappointed with that though. The rest of the halfbacks is not Carl Flanagan. There's not too much going on. Fucking Jack Cogger, 57. Sandon Smith, cheapie. I wouldn't risk it. But I think out of the halfbacks, I mean, it's just got to be Johnson, right? Like, he's averaging 74. He's just been really solid. Like, he's had a couple of lowies. His lowest score 30. It's only 31. It's not that bad. Even like starting the year pretty good. 41 against the Cows. Big scores. 42 against Melbourne, and then 31 against the Roosters. So he went on a bit of a downturn there. 39 against the Bronx in a tough game. But then fucking look at 71, 76, 39, 127, 119. So he's about to make some good cash. I think it's the trade. He can cover really nicely now. Obviously, it means we do have to use another trade to get Cleary back at some point. So, you got to be careful. But I've said it before, I don't have that many players that I'm that, itching to get back into the team. Obviously, Dave Fafita is a key one after Origin. But then, I don't know, it's sort of up in the air, in the front row. I mean, yeah, Payne Haas, Tino, probably priority. But running with Tohu Harris and Tarpany, I'm not that concerned. But if we got the luxury to get in Tino or a Payne Haas, yeah, I'd probably do it. Dummy Haas, we're set because I'm not looking to trade the two guns. Back row, the back row is still so up in the air. I mean, Nikora we could pick up this week, and then there's also Kalamatangi is a pretty good option that I'm tossing up, but there's not that many other standouts. We'll have a look at that in a second. Halfbacks, like I said, Cleary you'll have to bring back. 5'8". I mean, I don't know. I mean, Munster, yes, probably. But even then, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kalen Ponga. Fucking Kalen Ponga, if he wasn't, like I said last week, if he wasn't versing the Panthers this week, I probably would have gone on Ponga, who had a pretty good game. Cody Walker, Manu. I mean, it's not that urgent to get another 5'8" in. And then centre wing, I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know who the best centre wings are gonna be. I mean, Jermaine Asako is a good pickup this week, but they're taking on the Eels. It's not an easy game, and probably the fullback is probably the other position that we are gonna have to look at upgrading at some point. But again, it just depends how they come off Origin. Trbojevic, I still think Trbojevic is probably key. And then maybe Tedesco if he keeps finding form. But, I mean, Gutherson's averaging almost 80. I mean, Buller's averaging 72. But let's have a quick look. So, I I don't think I'm going to, but I was looking at this before. Dylan Edwards is now at 660k. I mean, he's 9.6% owned. It's not super pod territory. It's pretty good though. It's pretty good. And the Panthers, where do they have their bye? Because they take on the Knights this week. His lowest score is only 39. Like, you just know, like, Dylan Edwards takes 20 runs a game, so he's always going to score 40. And then he's had some pretty good upside this year. Got 39 against the Dragons for whatever reason, but then 69, 77. So yeah, 17 against Newcastle, 18. So they don't play 19, which throws me off a little bit. But then 20 against Dolphins, Bulldogs, Sharks. I don't think I'm going to. I still think Buller's got a bit more. Well, I don't think Buller's got that much more to give, but I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just trade Buller to a Latrell Mitchell when he's potentially back. Or even, I mean, even going like fucking Jermaine Asako and then swinging Asako into the center wing. I mean, Chansey. Getting in Chansey is also pretty okay. Because, yeah, I was actually keen to get Chansey this week, wasn't I? Because they cover nicely. But yeah, I don't hate it. But yeah, the fullbacks are just a bit... they're just a bit iffy at the moment. So I think I'm just going to hold off. Because, again, the Tigers, they have the bye this week, which is fine. Because I've got the cover for it. And then they play Cowboys, they play Sharks, which is tough. The Sharks are a tough one in 19 because they're full strength. Then they got the Knights, then Dragons. A pretty good couple of games there for him, potentially. Even the Cowboys game, I think, could be good for him. So, yeah, I don't know. After round 20, 21 potentially, you could just look to swing him onto Latrell if he's back. If hopefully he just doesn't lose too much cash in the meantime, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky little spot. But yeah, I do think Johnson is the play. I do think trading at Cleary is the right decision now. And Lukey's got to go. He is going to start bleeding some cash. And I think he's actually out for a couple of weeks, like I said. So he's not actually a pressing trade out. We could just hold. Because you're not going to drop cash. But I do think there's definitely a couple of good options. Let's just have a quick gander. So, dude, Scott Sorensen, he's at 700k. He's the third top scoring second row, which is insane. Actually, no, he's probably not. Actually, who is the top? Yeah, he's definitely not. He's number 9. But yeah, Hopgood, Nakora. So, I mean, Nakora, he's got a bye this week. So, yeah, I'm not getting Nakora this week. But he's probably still a trade-in. Fafita Tino, Carrigan Wilson. I mean, Corey Horsburgh, I think he's a bit overpriced. Ola Kawatu. I mean, Ola Kawatu's 528k, but man, he's just not doing it, man. He's just not doing it. Bryce Carride, Butcher. Where is... I'm going to look for the highest price. How did Madison... Actually, yeah, so Madison playing 5'8" wasn't great. That's got to be... it's got to be a bit of a kick for people that trade in Madison, right? Like, playing 5'8", like, he was fine, but, yeah, he just wasn't getting the tackles, wasn't getting the runs he usually would. So, until he's back in the forward pack, you just can't go near Madison, I don't think. Who else? Yeah, I was going to look at Kalamatangi. So, I actually think I'm going to go to Kalamatangi. I mean, it's honestly, it's 100k, which really isn't that bad. Also, let's have a quick look at, where is he? So, Preston as well, major buy player, 47, didn't do great. Where is... He's real cheap, isn't he? I mean, Nanai as well is very cheap. He's at 500k. I wouldn't be jumping on yet, but honestly, for the run home, a Nanai, I don't know. You could do worse, I think. Cameron Murray's 500k. Jesus Christ. Tyrone Peachy got 74 points, which, oh man, that was probably a mistake trading out Tyrone Peachy a few weeks ago. I didn't really think about the fact that the Panthers would have their players out and he would probably play 16. I didn't really give it a second thought when he was ruled out for that game. But oh well, we missed one score. It is what it is. You can't make every decision. So Jason Tamalolo, 69 points, 470k. He's so cheap. He's so cheap. Cowboys. How many minutes did he play? Like, obviously there was golden point in this one, so it's going to be a bit inflated. 55 minutes. I mean, he's been playing 50-55. The points just haven't been there, have they? It feels like he hasn't played in like 2 years. Like, I don't even remember the last time he played before that game. Yeah, I don't know. I'd give if he comes out and does it again this week. I don't know. You could do worse than going Jason Tamalolo, but I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be doing it yet because yeah, he might score 50, but is it really worth it? Probably not. Fucking Sean Bloor killed it in that game, but yeah, I actually think Kalamatangi is the guy that I'm going to bring in. There's no one really else, and again, the Rabbitohs, they do pretty well now, don't they? So yeah, 17, 18, 19. They missed 20, so you got to be careful of 20. You don't want too many Rabbitohs players. And then the run home, 21, 22, 23, 24. They missed 26, which I think is the last game of the season. But his scoring has been fucking great. Like, he's been very, very good. I would like him, but yeah, we'll decide if we're going to pull the trigger on that. We'll have a look at break even. We might be able to just wait a week, or maybe not, because again, let's have a quick the team. So again, I'm assuming Grant's going to back up. So Grant Walker. We could play... Who are Raiders playing? Raiders, Roosters. So it's either Croker or Billy Smith, maybe. Solomona. We'll play Solomona, I think. Just potential upside. And then... I don't know. I think I will make the trade then. I won't hold off because, my 17 is pretty good. Like, I could play one of these guys. They could score a try. Like, that's the thing with an outside back. They could score a try. Go 60 plus, but we got to be careful. Val Holmes maybe doesn't back up. The dummy halves maybe don't, but the rest of them we're all pretty okay. I guess Eli Katoa, we got to be if he's actually playing or not. And then center wing. So center wing is interesting because I think Mulatalo we're just gonna keep. I don't know. He hasn't really kicked on like I thought he would, but. He has it in him, and he covers the buys nicely after this one. Val Holmes and Ruben Garrick are definitely keepers till the end, I think. Taruva, I don't know. I sort of thought Taruva might be a trade this week, but he scored 64 points, so I think just hold him. Alex Johnston, I do think Johnston could be a trade out soonish. Probably, I mean, Croker and Smith as well, I think are both trades. But they're just good. They're good cover for now. But Johnston, who they play? So yeah, Cowboys, good game. Warriors, Bulldogs. Yeah, I think after 19, he's probably a trade for the round 20 game. Round 20 round, I think he's probably a trade out. I think they got an okay run home, but I don't know. Tough one. But if we look. Yeah, I think just trading Lukey to like a Kalamatangi is just the best bet at this point because Croker and Billy Smith could make more money this week. Lukey can't. And if Ali Katoa is ruled out, then we will need another second rower. I mean, we could play Schuster, but I think Lukey's the... Kalamatangi. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else potentially? I mean, we could get fucking Scott Sorensen. Could get Horsburgh. Don't love it though. I mean, he's been good. He's been very good, and he's probably going back to the middle as well, which is beneficial, I would say. Yeah. I mean, Madison. I mean, if Madison was back into the forward pack, God, I would be keen to get him in. And I guess this week it's interesting because Moses will probably be back. Dejan Arce will be in the 5'8" role, so it'll be interesting to see actually what happens with the forward pack. Fuck, I could get stuffed over. I mean, surely Cartwright keeps his spot, right? If Andrew Davey keeps the starting spot and Cartwright goes back to the bench, I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna flip out, dude. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, obviously. But yeah, as it is now, I'm leaning towards Kalamatangi, but we'll see. We'll see what team lists toss up, if there's any carnage, anything like that. But as it is now, it's looking okay. So hopefully, guys are enjoying the Supercoach action. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.